this morning.
Exactly. 42 points, 10 helpers. Knicks win by 6. All right, Jalen Brunson continuing to dominate in his 3rd season in New York. Last night was his 12th game of 30 points and 10 assists for the Knicks, which is now the most such games in franchise history. Before signing with New York 3 years ago, Brunson never had a game of 30 points and 10 assists in his 4 seasons with, guess who? The Mavericks.
Oh, how about that? And speaking of that news that is rocking the NBA, Luka is a Laker, and today at noon we'll hear from him for the first time since the trade that sent him to LA and Anthony Davis to the Mavs happened Sunday, but something this big, this unexpected, and this centered around a young superstar. It's going to take a little time to sink in for everyone. Last night, Steph Curry shared his thoughts on how it went down.
Just a reminder, maybe only a few in this league that can go to sleep with any type of confidence, but just still be there. It's kind of a very unique situation across the board, but I think just the idea that it happened in silence was pretty crazy.
Who are those few anymore? Because I wouldn't have thought Luka was one of them. Meanwhile, Landscape's David Dennis Jr. here with us now, and you just heard from Steph Curry. What do you think that this trade sends a message about the NBA and how it unfolded?
Yeah, let's say the quiet part out loud of what Steph was saying. 99.999% of the players in the league woke up Sunday morning knowing that if Nico Harrison had called their organization and said, I want to send Luka, who you got, they would all be on the trading block. We are now looking at an inflection point in the league right now, whether it's second apron or supermax or conflation of a whole bunch of other things, where if you look at the last year, 2 of the 3 best players in the Western Conference Finals got shipped in the middle of the night, including Luka Doncic, who was a lifer for Dallas. Klay Thompson is no longer a Golden State Warrior. Jimmy Butler, who was the personification of Heat culture, is in the middle of one of the worst feuds that we've seen between a player and an organization. We're heading into a trading deadline where the Suns are taking calls for Kevin Durant, and we're also talking about maybe LeBron James. LeBron James should possibly get traded by the deadline. I don't know how, if you're an owner or a GM in this league, you can preach loyalty to anybody in the league when deals like what we saw between Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks are happening.
I don't care who you are. If you catch your GM on the phone, I'm looking over my shoulder like, we good? What's happening over there? We'll see how it all shakes out and have much more on this trade all throughout the show. But let's dive a little bit deeper into what it means, because the Mavs, they're currently the 8th seed right now in the West. With AD there now, are you buying that they could be a potential contender?
I'm not this season. I just think that a team that is the 8th seed, you have about 30 games to figure out what's kind of a clunky lineup right now. Now, granted, the Mavs can make some moves between now and the trade deadline, but as it's currently constructed, you have AD and you have some bigs out there, and none of those guys can shoot. Then you have Kyrie as basically your facilitator, who's not a guy who can get the ball to a lot of different people. He's not a typical point guard. You have some clunkiness there, and then you have a Western Conference that is still loaded. I mean, the Mavs could only make some noise if a whole bunch of things go right for them, including the health of AD and the health of Kyrie through these next 30 games. And we just traditionally do not see that. I'm just not buying the Dallas Mavericks as a team that can contend with OKC, with Denver, with Houston, with the top of the West right now for the rest of the season, which is concerning for Dallas because that window for championship contention is only a couple years, and this year to me is a wash already.
And you make a trade like that, you're looking to do big things very soon, not just in the future. We'll see what it all looks like, how it comes together. We won't see it tonight, though, when they play, because Anthony Davis is ruled out against the 76ers. We'll see if he plays Thursday when they take on the Celtics. David Dennis Jr. with us this morning on SportsCenter. Thanks.
Oh, yeah. Most surprising trades in sports history continues. We are on Sportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio. If you missed any of our show, go back on the podcast and listen. Oof. Luka is a Laker. AD is a member of the Mavs.
I'm just thinking about the trade wars, man. Like we thought we had a trade war between Canada and Mexico, and now the NBA and the NFL are in a trade war.
Yeah.
I mean, the news is fast and furious. We got the Luka trade over this weekend. We got the De'Aaron Fox trade yesterday.
Miles Garrett, Cooper Kupp.
Miles Garrett, Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
Like, we got all this speculation around Kevin Durant now.
Oh, we'll get to that.
It is getting crazy right now. Even we had to take a beat from tariffs to pay attention to what the NFL and the NBA are doing. And oh, by the way, there's this game on Sunday. I don't know if you heard of it. It's the Super Bowl. We ain't even had a chance to talk about it.
We are feasting,
man,
on sports content.
You know what? Eagles Chiefs. That'll be what to watch for. Brought to you by Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Get great deals and the hottest tickets. Experience it live as we are going to New Orleans. Brought to us by GNC and Verizon today. Say tomorrow. We're going today.
We leave today.
We leave today. If you guys make your flight, why'd you book a flight so close to the end of the showtime, you two?
Because I don't like to
direct.
waste time.
Yeah, me either.
I just want to go to the airport lounges. Oh.
You want to hang out in the airport lounge?
I kind of like the
I
airport
don't
lounge
wanna hang out.
hangouts.
I want to spend
internet, chargers. Oh, perfect.
The goal
Yeah, you can
is
get
to
that at your
spend
hotel.
as little time in the airport as possible.
Could not agree
That
more.
is the goal. Like, I want to get there 55 minutes before my flight, check
my
my
God.
bag, and walk through security. I got the TSA pre-check, so I just want to walk through security and get on my seat on the plane.
Wait a second. You don't have it?
So I have Clear, and I
too.
did everything to do TSA pre-check, except I have to go to the office to complete
do
it.
the interview?
And I haven't
Yeah.
done it yet. And so I'm hoping that the airport we're flying out of has Clear, because if not, I'll meet you at the
Yeah,
gate.
the airport we're going to does have Clear.
Okay, good.
They do have
Because a
Clear.
lot of them do not, which is very
I'm
upsetting.
surprised you don't have global entry with pre-check though.
I
Well,
know.
she flies private most of the time.
Because you've traveled international a lot, so it behooves you to have global entry. If you have global entry, you have pre-check.
It's been on the list.
It's been on the list.
I miss my
okay.
interview.
Also,
All right.
I'm just going to, not to get too behind the scenes here. Smalls is not like the biggest person in the world. Her luggage is legitimately bigger than she is.
I feel like she could pack herself in her luggage.
Could you
fit in
seriously?
it.
Could you
could
fit in your suitcase? We need to do a bit where you, not when we're traveling, you bring in your suitcase, and we'll see if we can fit you in the suitcase.
I brought
You do
two
the-
bags.
I know you do the
1.5.
show from the suitcase. Like
I could do it.
Like in your, you always talk about, oh, I got this small studio apartment. Her couch is actually the suitcase. Is when she sits there
I
and
have
watches
to
TV.
move my coffee table out of the way to open the suitcase because my place is
Wait,
so
where
small.
do you keep that? In the place, or do you have a storage
In
thing?
my closet. I put
You got to move that.
I put
that thing is
extra clothes in
enormous.
there. I don't know what else to do.
There's no storage thing in your building?
Yeah, but you have to pay per month. I'm not doing that.
Okay. All right. Anyway.
They tax you on everything in New York,
You
don't
know
they?
it. And it's not a cheap locker.
No, not at all.
Charles Barkley yesterday, TNT NBA analyst, of course, was on Get Up with Greeny and gave this take about Luka and LeBron.
The Lakers, that's going to be fascinating because I don't think Luka and LeBron can play together. That's my personal opinion. Because neither one of them can play without the ball. That's going to be very fascinating. So we're looking at them down the line. I think they brought LeBron in to be a mentor for Luka. LeBron's body is incredible. He's one of the greatest players ever. But from condition, I think they're hoping that rubs off on Luka. But I don't think they're going to have great success together.
Okay, a couple of things on this. First of all, and this may sound unbelievably naive, but I don't know that the plan of this trade or the goal of this trade is hinging on them having great success together. It's them having great success as an organization for the next decade. And if LeBron is there, great. And if he's not, great. The other thing, and this may be too simplistic, they're both too smart to not be successful together. Like, they're just going to figure this stuff out as to what to do.
Yeah, but it's going to take some time, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, with two ball-dominant players, remember when LeBron went from Cleveland to Miami? It took them a year and a half to figure it out because Wade and LeBron were used to having the ball in their hands.
Now, sorry to interrupt, but that is a very good comp. What Wade did that summer in between the first and second year was go to Riley, Spoelstra, and LeBron and say, I get it. It has to be his team. I'll be the Robin. He's the Batman. I think LeBron has to do that to Luka right off the bat.
Can he do that?
I don't know.
Ooh.
Has LeBron ever not been the focal point of any team he's been on? Yesterday,
He's never not been the best player on his team.
and this is the first time ever. And this is someone who not only has always been the best player on his team, but usually has the most power on his team and can move the pieces around to make it beneficial for him, to make it advantageous for him. And now the Lakers are saying, we love you, LeBron, but we're looking beyond you. This is Luka's team now. We are building around him. We are bringing him in to open the next window, hopefully to win. And that is a foreign place for LeBron James to be.
So, to that point, it's a very good point.
Thank you.
I think that when I'm more critical on LeBron than any of us on the show. But when we say LeBron could never take a backseat to anyone, I will also then say there's never been someone he should take a backseat to.
Correct.
Even the last 5-6 years with AD, like he's better than AD. That's not like some bold statement. In this case, I don't know that he's actually better than Luka right now.
But can you take a backseat to somebody that's off injured and doesn't put in the requisite work in terms of being in condition to be at his best?
Okay, so let's lay out the plan for them. LeBron's team for the rest of the season, what that means is he's the go-to guy. Luka, watch him, learn from him, be around him, go to his house for dinner, meet his training staff, the whole deal, and then next year you flip it. You're not going to win the title this year anyway, so let this year be a transition year. Like part one.
So you think LeBron picks up his player option for next year and stays there?
I think so, yeah.
I think so too. I guess here's my point.
But it doesn't matter for the Lakers.
No, it doesn't.
They got their guy.
It doesn't matter for the Lakers. I guess as a Lakers fan, and maybe this is self-loathing, but I don't think this team is close to competing for a championship.
Leave the self-loathing to me, please.
I know, right?
Yeah. That is kind of Evan's
I've spent too much time with you, but that's what it feels like. They're not close. Now, there's things that can happen between now and Thursday in terms of being able to add some front court help. We'll see what happens with the Miles Turner of it all, but I still think there's a lot of work to be done in order to get this team in position to compete with the upper echelon squads in the Western Conference, teams that are only going to get better as we move from this year to next year. So I'm skeptical that LeBron and Luka will have a chance to get to the championship rounds of the postseason. So this is much more about comfortability and quality of life for LeBron at this stage in his career than it is about trying to compete for a title. And it's been a long time since we've been able to say that about a LeBron James-led team where the ultimate goal is not necessarily winning a title, but it's just about making sure you have the very best quality of life.
All right, coming up. Is there a chance possibly that Luka is the second most historically significant NBA player traded this deadline? There's a chance that someone gets moved that is more historically significant than Luka. A lot of teams are going to be making calls, Smalls. What phone company?
YouTube của mình. Đây là những sản phẩm của mình. Chuẩn bị tô mổ để gửi tặng tất cả các bạn. Đấy, những sản phẩm, những con vật và đồ vật. Đây, đồ vật đây các bạn này. Sản phẩm của mình rất chi là nhiều. Đấy. Và đây là hộp sam màu của mình này, một đồ dùng để hỗ trợ mình tô mổ. Hỗ trợ mình tô mổ những sản phẩm đẹp để tặng tất cả các bạn. Và bây giờ các bạn cùng theo dõi mình nha. Mình sẽ tiếp tục tô mổ nha các bạn.
Khiếp, này nhìn trông ấy đấy.
Rồi.
Vứt cái thóc xuống nhìn trông Nobita ấy.
Một hướng.
Nhưng mà
Ăn đầy lắm.
dính dính
Tất cả các bạn đã đến với kênh YouTube của mình. Đây là những sản phẩm của mình. Chuẩn bị tô màu để gửi tặng tất cả các bạn. Đấy, những sản phẩm, những con vật và đồ vật. Đây, đồ vật đây các bạn này. Sản phẩm của mình rất chi là nhiều. Đấy. Và đây là hộp sam màu của mình này, một đồ dùng để hỗ trợ mình tô màu, hỗ trợ mình tô màu những sản phẩm đẹp để tặng tất cả các bạn. Và bây giờ các bạn cùng theo dõi mình nha.
Nhằm sẽ tiếp tô màu nha các bạn.
Tất cả các bạn đã đến với kênh YouTube